All right, everybody, Behrus here, broker with Toronto Real Estate Board. I'm reporting to you the stats for the month of December and a wrap up for 2022. At the end of 2022, whatever that sold in that year, average price was close to 1.2 million. Average price of any type of housing, condos, detach, semis, townhomes, condo townhomes, and so forth. If you are looking at the December, this is a very good indication of where the market is heading, because I personally in our team and our team would believe that we are still in the correction season of the real estate. Because of that, the flattening of the correction curve that we have seen in the month of September, August, September, October, and November did show itself in the correction that we had in the December. And December, with close to 3,200 number of transactions that we had, also shows that if you look at the month of inventory, it shows that we are close to 3 months of inventory available in the whole Toronto GTA. Breaking that down, if you see in December we had 4,000 new listings, whether it was a terminated house coming back to the market or it was a brand new house that's coming onto the market, you'll see that we are where we're supposed to be as an indication of where the interest rates are heading and also where it should be based on the inflation. You see that we are close to a reasonable level of the number of sales versus the factors that affect that volume of sale. I hope you understand. I hope you're following that, because that's very important. I'm going to get back to it, and when I'm wrapping up the video, I'm going to tell you that this is not the end of the world. In a very high interest rate environment, we had such a thing, and we are going to go into a deep thinking that at some level the price is going to go the way that they are right now. So going into the details of who did what and which area did the best, my prediction for the next year is that Durham region is going to affect very much more than any other region in the Toronto GTA area. And that is because that the level of inventory, please go back to the slides if you are watching the 3rd minute of this video. The level of inventory in Durham region is going to increase to a very high level than what it is right now. It is less than 2 months of inventory, whereas any other areas except the York region, which if you look at the York region, if you work with somebody who knows these areas, they can explain that to you much better than anybody else. But if you look at the York region, we have few of very big cities that are very big role players in terms of the numbers and in terms of the real estate dynamic that we have. York region in general is going to see a price correction as well as the Durham region. To my belief, it's not going to see that great of a price correction as the Durham region, but who knows, maybe in general, when we have more transactions in those neighborhoods that are affected more severely than any other, those towns that are more affected severely than any other towns, we will see the average prices in York region in general drop significantly. But ask your professional realtor, whoever who you trust, or give us a call. We can delve into the neighborhoods of those towns and cities and tell you which areas ring the most bell. For you as buyers, at the 4th minute of this video, close to 5th minute, I'm gonna ask you to be prepared. You are a first-time buyer, you have to buy. The general rule is that buying is much better than renting. Speaking of that, rents have, during the first 2 weeks of January and the last 2 weeks of December, we had a really strange uptick in the number of activities in rent, which have pushed the rent prices a tad higher than what it was at the end of the year. At the end of the year, a one bedroom in Toronto GTA on average would be going for close to $24.50, and now for the first 2 weeks we are close to $2,500. And that is a bad thing for you when I'm telling you that if you're a first-time buyer, you have to be careful about this and you have to be ready, because more opportunity you see in the resale market, the better it is for you to buy, because you're buying at a lower price, provided that you qualify with no push, with no extension of the boundaries, with no debt from somewhere else. And with that, I'm gonna come back to details of what we are seeing in the Toronto GTA at the end of the year, because that's very important. You look at that and be ready for the month of February and March of this year stats when they're coming out. January is not going to be that important because January everything is low except the last year was very high. But let's talk about that later. So when I'm talking about the details of Toronto GTA area, in terms of a number of transactions, the average prices, you see that the average price of a detach and the difference between the semi and town have decreased. So detached market affected much more than the semis and towns, but still the difference between the town and semi is very low. And usually, think about it, usually when somebody is in the town, they won't move into a semi because closer gap is there between the square footage of a semi and a townhome. And that should be very important for you to understand that if you want to upgrade, this is the best time, because the difference between a detached market and a townhome or a semi has shrunken by almost 30%. So in Toronto, you'll have a gap of 800,000 between townhomes and detached, and from semis to detached, you have a gap of around 500,000. In York region, as I said, in general, in York region, you will have this almost a $500,000 gap between the townhome and semi, and close to $300,000 or $400,000 between the semis and detached. And in general, if you are looking for an upgrade, or if you are a first-time buyer thinking of buying for the first time, I guess this is one of the times that you have to act. The discretion is up to you. You can wait for a little bit longer, and you can also improve your financials by adding more to your down payment, by renting still. But as I said, be careful about what's happening in the condo market. You'll see a lot of condos coming in the York region that are finished this year. Toronto market the same, but when you're looking at stats in the Toronto market, you know that because of the number of interested buyers or volume of transaction in the Toronto market, you won't see that much of a fact in the Toronto market in general again. But downtown is way different than Midtown and Uptown, where is North York. But I want to tell you that the difference between the town prices of condos in the York region and Toronto is also significant, which is close to $100,000 for an average condo in the York region. That tells you that again, York region is lagging in terms of the prices behind the Toronto. And again, there's going to be more correction in the York region because of amount of interest that is not there, but amount of inventory that we are going to see in the near future in the York region as well. For you condo owners, The prices are always stable because the fluctuation is not that great as it is for the detached and freeholds. For you as first-time buyers, this is one of the opportunities that you can buy. There is no limit. I can tell you that, full disclosure, I am not encouraging you to come onto market if you are not ready. But if you have been thinking about it for a long time, have somebody who understands the markets, have your financials reviewed and up to date, and be ready, because there might be a very good opportunity for you to buy. And by that, I wrap up the video. We have a year of surprises, definitely. Where you think that the prices might go one way, it goes the other way, and we will have a year of more or less the same as we ended the 2022 in 2023.